Hello, creators. How are you guys? It's great to hang out with you again for another video creators podcast / live stream. This is a special episode that we have for you guys because I am actually joined here by 20 other friends of mine, all of them YouTube creators. You guys can wave. They can see you. If you're watching the live stream, you can see all of them right now. We've been hanging out for the past 8 weeks, going through something called Video Labs, which is a process that my team and I take creators through that just generates results for them, getting them from either nothing, getting them started, taking them down the right path, or some of them have already well-established channels and just getting them to the next level. And I love it because I get to meet new creators and work with them and see the success that they're having on their channel. And I gets me really excited as we're all reaching more people and changing their lives together. So we are wrapping up Video Labs right now. And this is our final session together. So it's kind of sad, but they have been sharing so many ideas with each other in our private Facebook group. They have been working really hard on their channel. They're doing some things that they've seen that are producing tremendous results. And they've tried other things that are like, hey, I was putting a lot of energy into that and that didn't do anything for me, right? We want to save you guys a lot of time. We want to make sure that you are investing into the things that are going to grow your channel. And so I asked them here today to just share with you some of the things that they've been working on that has been generating results for them. So they have tips for you, they have ideas for you, and I asked each of them to share that. Now, those of you who are here in the live stream, we also want to make sure we spend some time answering some of your questions. Because one of the things that's like one of my most favorite, there's a lot of favorite things about Video Labs, but one of my most favorite things is at the end, when we're doing this live stream together, when they get to answer your questions, I love it because this is when they start light bulb moments. They're like, oh, I used to not ever know how to be able to answer that question. But now that I have this framework for how to approach strategy on my YouTube channel, like now I know how to solve these problems. I know how to approach these roadblocks and how to overcome them and come up with ideas and solutions because of this process. And so I want them to help you guys with this. And so ask your questions in the chat of this live stream. Laura, my producer, is here. Thank you, Laura, for being here. She's busy. She got a lot of work going on, but she's taking time to hang out with us here. And so ask them. Yes, as Carrie is Clean Eating Kitchens, like ask us the hard questions. That's right. Ask them the questions in the chat. Laura, my producer, will take them from the chat while we're talking here, put them in front of us. And after everyone here has shared some of their tips and ideas and introduced themselves to you, we'll spend some time here at the end answering your questions. So we want this to be really helpful and beneficial for you, not just from the tips and the ideas that these creators are going to share, but also because of the questions are going to help you guys answer. So let's get started. We have a lot of tips and ideas to go through here. Let's start with Media Lab YYC and tell us a little bit about your channel, what you're all about, and then what your tip or your idea is for us as creators.
Thanks, Tim. My name's Kyle, so thank you everyone here for watching on this live stream. Yeah, the channel is called Media Lab YYC, and it is designed around this why that I have, meaning that I really believe that a creator's value is not tied to their follower account. And the what of the channel is actually doing profiles on different creators as well as giving tips and tricks as we go along. Very new channel for me. I came over from my personal vlogging channel I've been doing for years. I think that the biggest thing that I've taken away, which seems so simple, that I wish I had kind of been trying to implement earlier, is that hook, that first few seconds that you have in the video. For me, you know, I was like, it's always just normal for everyone to lose like a bunch of people right at the very beginning. But there's ways where you can retain people's interest right from the get-go instead of having those huge dips right at the very beginning. So that's my biggest tip, is hook them really early so that they want to continue watching what you're producing.
Yeah, that's great. What are some of the things that you've done on your content that has helped reduce the amount of abandonment you have right at the very beginning?
Two things I've found that has actually worked the most is either starting right with a question. I mean, like, are you curious about this? We're going to answer it in this video so that people are pulled into that video, or showing a little bit of where the video is going to take them. So you can show something later that happens in the video to boom right there at the beginning. And then they eventually get back to that point in the video. So it's like, can you believe this thing is going on? Let's get there first. And then I kind of take them on that journey. So again, people are just wanting to know, like, well, how did that happen? Instead of starting at the beginning necessarily.
Cool. That's great. Yeah. And by the way, you guys can find links to all of their channels in the description of this video here. So any of these creators sounds like, well, that's really cool. You want to check out their channel? Links are down below. Or if you're listening to the podcast episode of this, links to all their channels are in the show notes as well. You guys can go check that out. So you can go check out Kyle down there below. The Home Improvement Navigator. Tell us about your channel and what you're doing on YouTube.
Well, hey guys, awesome to be on this live stream with you. My name is Patrick, and I am the Home Improvement Navigator. And my goal here on my YouTube channel is to help people solve their home improvement problems and then connect them with quality, pre-screened background check companies. And mine is probably more of a general tip in that if you're even considering starting a YouTube channel or growing your YouTube channel, I can't tell you the value that this class has brought. I know that Tim probably didn't say anything about promoting the video labs, but I just got to tell you, I look at it like building a house. If you're going to build a house, you have to have blueprints. If you don't have blueprints, what do you think you're going to end up with in the end? And this course, I can tell you, probably the second or third week that I started going through it, I knew immediately that I had gotten my money's worth. I could have stopped there. I haven't been able to put as much time into what we've learned into my channel yet. But I will tell you that the couple very small things that I did do, I saw instant results. And I would say that would just be my artwork and then thumbnails. And I think just because of that, I would venture to say I probably got about 100 subscribers from that. So that's just a very, very tiny portion. And if you look at it again, like building a house, this is the same thing. You have to have a plan. And if you don't have a plan, you're really just kind of, throwing darts blindfolded. So this course has just been unbelievably incredible. And I can see other people in our class that have gotten great results as well. So that's my tip. If you're considering growing your YouTube channel, definitely go through the Video Labs course.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I think what your point is really important. A lot of YouTube creators go through their journey just thinking like, oh, I'm just going to publish videos. And it's kind of like, to your point, it's kind of like, well, I'm just going to drive nails and wood and I'll get a house eventually. Right.
Right.
So maybe, but if you have blueprints, you have a plan, you have a strategy, if you're like, here's where I am now at point A, I want to get to point B, and and someone knows how to get you there and you can partner with them and a group of other creators. Yeah, you're right. Like having a plan is by far going to be more likely to get you to point B than just kind of continuing to just drive random nails in random places and hoping something works, so yeah, very, very important. So thank you for that. I appreciate that, man. Anand, tell us about your channel.
Hey Tim, hey everyone. My name is Anand and I have a channel called Underdog Strength, which is designed to help you lose fat and gain muscle at the same time. But not only that, I help you and I teach you how to keep that fat off for a really long time, which is a mistake that a lot of people make because they lose some weight, then they always end up gaining it all back. And as far as why you should listen to me, it's because I've been there myself. I used to be morbidly obese all my life until I started focusing on strength training, which is what I teach people to how to lift weights and how to eat right, and also form a sustainable lifestyle around it so that you can get lean and get strong. And as far as what I've learned from this program is one of if not the most important factor when it comes to your YouTube success is going to be your total watch time. And oftentimes even though we might get views, we lose people along the way because of a few things we do in our video. And there's a lot of things you can do in terms of your editing and all that to keep people engaged and increase that viewer retention. But there's also a lot of things that you can stop doing in your video. And the number one thing that I found is to stop using language or other things in your video that indicate that the video is over. Just simply end the video when it's over. And if you have a call to action at the end, just go straight to that call to action. Either ask them to watch another video, or if ask them to subscribe. And usually you can do this very effectively using end screens. But anytime you start ending the video before it's over and start using language that says, hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this, and blah blah blah, or sometimes you might even start putting in music towards the end that kind of starts indicating that the video is about to end, people are just going to click off, and it's really going to hurt your overall watch time. But also, if most people aren't going to make it to towards the end of the video where you actually have that call to action, so you're missing out in terms of a lot of traffic simply because of doing that. So that would be
Yeah.
my number one.
Yeah, it's really important that we get people to watch another video, and on television it's normal for people to say, like, have a sign off, and or even on YouTube it's normal too. People say, hey, thanks for watching this video, hope you enjoyed it, things like that, and then that's when everyone leaves the video. So you're right, we've seen that's way more effective. You're just like, end the content and then get them into another video, and they're much more likely to do that rather than giving them permission to leave your content. Makes a big difference. Cool. Thank you, man. Benjamin, tell us about your channel and your tip or ideas for creators.
Hey guys, my name is Ben Selstrom, and I run a channel called Blue Collar Ben. If you're a homeowner and have projects that you need to do around your house, definitely stop by the channel sometime, and I'll help you finish your project with excellence and be prepared for future electrical, plumbing, HVAC, and automotive projects. It's been really fun going through video labs, and I think my biggest takeaway, there's so many of them, but we were forced to choose one, so is to keep your call to actions simple. And by that, I mean a call to action is asking the viewer to do anything really in your video. So a bad example would be, hey, I want you to like, comment, subscribe, buy my ebook. Make sure you click on that bell. Oh, check out this sponsor link down below, and I have a few products that you might be interested in as well. So make sure you do that. That would be exactly what you don't want to do. It's just spreading yourself, confusing the viewer like crazy. And so you want to keep it down to one or maybe two call to actions in a video, and you're going to have much better luck at actually making those call to actions useful for people. So
what are the call to actions that you normally give in your videos, Ben?
Yeah, so the one that I'm working towards doing is click on this playlist right here where I show you the full process of installing a new toilet or something like that. That's what I'm
Yeah.
That's what I'm working towards implementing, where we're bringing people into the next video and keeping that session going. And so that's probably the biggest one that I'm working on implementing. But before I would struggle with saying quite a few of those, probably about 3 or 4, and like, comment, subscribe. So definitely working towards being more engaging with viewers and saying, hey, this video right here is going to be really relevant. Click on that and I'll see you in a few seconds.
That's right. Yeah. Just like, what's the one thing you want people to do, or two, but giving them like that focus, as opposed to like, here's 15 things, and you start listing and people are like, I'm out, and they're gone. They're not even going to hear any of them anyway. So getting them to one thing is really important. Good. Thanks, Ben. Chariot Palmistry, you're up next. Tell us about your channel and your tip for creators.
Sure. Hi guys, my name's Sulab Jain, and we've got a palmistry channel where we focus in specifically on the Indian system of palmistry, and we help you navigate your life using spiritual tools and also self-improvement as well. The biggest thing I got out of this course was to divide your videos up into 2 main categories: videos that are for your community and videos that are discoverable. And this pretty much echoes Ben's point as well. In my previous videos, I had like 10 different call to actions, and most people ended up doing none of those. But if you have videos that are discoverable, at the end of those videos, you can ask people to subscribe to you or to like your videos. And people who are seeing you for the first time, they're more likely to subscribe to you. Whereas in your videos for your community, they're already your subscribers and they're already engaged to you. So in those videos, or at the end of those videos, you can ask people to comment or to go to your website and do other cool things.
Yeah, it really comes back to what we were just talking about, where it's like it's really important for you to have a goal for your videos. Like, is the goal here to go out and get a lot of views from people who've never heard of me before? Is the goal here to engage the community I already have? Is the goal here to generate a sale? You know, what is the goal? And then crafting the content to accomplish that thing, as opposed to trying to accomplish 15 things with one video. It's a lot harder to do that. So yeah,
Absolutely.
totally. That's great. Thank you for sharing that, man. Appreciate it. Clean Eating Kitchen. Tell us about your channel and what you do on YouTube.
Hey everybody, I'm Carrie and my channel is Clean Eating Kitchen, where I share easy gluten-free and dairy-free recipes and tips for women recovering from chronic disease. So I come from the blogging and the social media space. I'm really new to YouTube. So I think my biggest tip and takeaway from Video Labs was thinking of YouTube as its own separate world, and it's a different strategy from what I've done in blogging and Instagram and stuff. So like for me, I have a cooking channel, so I have videos where I shoot overhead and it's just my hands. We call it hands and pans. And I don't show my face or anything. And that works well on Facebook and my website. But for YouTube, people are really looking for a connection with the personality, the person running the channel. And so I'm just thinking about my videos for YouTube as, you know, from a completely different perspective, in that I really have to show my personality and really connect with the audience, which I find really intimidating, but I also find to be exciting because it's like a whole new way to connect with people.
That's great. Yeah. And I hear that a lot. People who are like, I would put myself on camera, but I'm just scared. Do you have any advice for someone who's in that position that you were in? Like, how do you just do it or move forward or don't do it? Or what would you say to that person?
Yeah, no, I'm still in that position. I'm still really intimidated to be on camera, and I'm just practicing. And, you know, you said in a podcast, I think, like, it's actually a blessing to have a really small audience, to start with a small audience, because I mean, I only have a few hundred subscribers now. So it's just a much smaller world, and, you know, I don't have like haters and stuff, not yet. So it's easier, and it's less intimidating just to start small and just keep practicing.
Yeah, take advantage of that small audience and just learn a ton, and you can make a lot of mistakes and not let a lot of people down. So it's a good learning environment. So yeah, cool. Thank you, Carrie.
Thanks.
Dave, tell us about your channel.
What's going on, guys? So my channel is all about, well, it's called My Name, Dave Ferrata, and it's all about helping guys get the girls they want and becoming the man they want to be, or that they were meant to be. And it's really all about pretty much dating advice for normal dudes. And I'd say one of the biggest things I've learned so much through Video Labs. It's really helped me kind of exponentially grow my channel over the past couple of months and really see some crazy kind of gains across all metrics. But one of the big things is really setting up your home base on your channel, so that when people come to your channel, they get who you are, they get what value they're going to get from your channel, and they're going to want to subscribe, versus just getting there and being like, well, what is going on here? Right. So one of the big things I've done with that is really structure my playlist to convey that value, you know, with good descriptions. And also, you know, right now I'm in the process of upgrading my banner to really show my value proposition, which is, you know, really the main value I want people to get from my channel. But really just kind of organizing that home base so that when people get there, when people visit that home base, they get who you are and they want to stick around and subscribe. So that's right. That's really the biggest thing.
Yeah, one of the biggest things that makes it difficult for a creator to grow is any sense of confusion that the audience has about, is this for me? Is this not for me? What are they about? What are they not? Like, I don't really get it. You know, so they might enjoy one video, but to really get them to subscribe and watch every video that you do, that you need to remove that confusion. That's where the brand that you're establishing and what you communicate about your brand is really, really important. And so you did that. Just kind of point us back to how, you know, Dave, how you did that when the very first thing you said, like when I said, hey, tell us about what your channel's about, what did you say? What did you tell us?
the value proposition, right? Like
yeah. What is that? You're about helping people,
yeah,
dating advice.
Yeah. Help guys get the girls they want and become the men they were meant to be. Yeah.
So there's not a whole lot of confusion there. You know, if there's a guy who's like, oh, there's a girl that I really like, I would like to date her and I want to become a better man, then like they know that your channel is the place to go, right? And you said that in like what, 2 seconds maybe? And so like you're quickly making it easy for people to understand who you are, what you're about.
Yeah. And really trying to just convey that with the playlist too on the homepage. So just having the playlist there organized so much better has increased my playlist views by thousands of percentage points basically over the past 2 months. So
that's great.
That's become a big part of the channel.
It's cool. Yeah. And as a reminder, if you guys are joining the live stream here part halfway through, you can find the links to all their channels down below. So make sure you go check them out if any of this sounds of interest to you. Let's go to Joelle from Fluffy Kawaii Joe. I can always mess up the middle word there. I'm sorry, but I know her as Joelle. We're on a first name basis now.
So yeah, like I said, I'm Joelle. I'm from Switzerland, and my channel is Fluffy Kawaii Joe. It's a channel about Lolita fashion and kawaii lifestyle. This is Japanese street fashion, nothing to do with the book, nothing sexual. It's just cutesy fashion from Japan. And so I was wearing that fashion, and a lot of people told me, oh, that's so cute, but I could never wear that because I'm too fat, I'm too old, whatever. And then I thought that I should really make that my mission on my channel to make that everybody who wants to be kawaii can be kawaii. And so my motto is everybody can be kawaii.
That's great.
So yeah. So my tip is something that helped me a lot from the very beginning of my channel is batching. So I own 2 other companies. I'm super busy, and filming videos, especially I have to, I guess all the girls here probably, I don't know, doing the makeup, dressing up, whatever, to film one video is just too much work for me. So I book a whole day and I just do my makeup once, and then I change into like 4 different outfits and film a lot of video next to each other, and then I'm done for the day. And then for editing, I'm also trying to batch edit a lot of video together, or doing all the SEO and thumbnails together, and it saves me a lot of time to be in that focus for what I'm doing.
Yeah, and you can be a lot more efficient when you do it that way, because I know that's a big the struggle a lot of creators have is like, how do I actually get videos published? Like it takes so long. And so what was your process like before, Joelle, before you started batching? Were you just doing one video at a time? And how consistent were you then?
I've been super consistent since the very beginning. I think I've started watching your videos before I started my own channel, so I knew what I had to do. And I think that since the beginning, at first when I started, I published 3 videos a week, which was crazy. And then I lowered it to 2 videos a week. But very quickly, like in the first few months, I realized that I could not do that anymore. And what I do now is that when I have a live stream planned in the evening, then that's the day that I plan to film all my videos, because I have to do all this anyways. So yeah,
good. Batching can save a lot of time, be more efficient, and help you serve your audience more consistently. So that's great. Cool. Kristen, tell us about your channel.
Hey guys, I'm Kristen, and my channel is all about pop culture meets community. I do movie and TV show reviews and celebrity interviews, and really my whole channel is just about the community aspect. I love talking to other people who love television shows and movies, and so whether we agree or not, it's just like all about the conversation, you know. And my tip that I got from this course is to really optimize your scripts and get to the point. And I think in doing that, not only will you help your audience retention and kind of get people to the end of your videos, but you'll also get them to engage and interact with you more. I have an example of, I did a Charmed review recently, and I specifically put a poll in, and I said, if you guys want me to do this other video, you can vote here in this poll. And immediately the numbers grew from what I originally would get from, you know, putting polls there and not calling it out. And so I think like optimizing your scripts and being able to take advantage of the tools that YouTube has, like the end slates and the end cards and the polls and things like that, it really works, you know? So that's definitely one of the things that I took away, that has definitely helped me get people to engage more and get more to the end of my videos and get to other videos as well.
That's great. What are some examples of polls that you think creators should consider? Like what was the one that you made for your video, for example?
Well, I have been doing a lot of Charmed reviews. And so I wanted to know, you know, I've been doing them weekly, and I wanted to know, does my audience want to see a full season review at the end now that the season's over? And I just asked them, do you want me to do it? Yes or no? And then people voted. But I think, you know, I think that was a way that I was able to get my audience to let me know if they're interested in some other content. And sometimes I just throw in some polls for fun, asking, you know, about different characters or, you know, things that they're interested in. And it can kind of help me gauge what else I want to do on my channel. So now I know that's a video that I have to do.
Yeah, no pressure now. They said yes. So if someone doesn't know how to run a poll on their channel, can you quickly just walk them through how they would find that option and set that up, just kind of off the top of your head?
Yeah, for sure. So if you go into the cards section on YouTube, they have a bunch of options there where you can put different channels, you can put other videos or playlists, or you can click polls. So that's all in the cards section. And once you click it, you can put in, I think, up to 5 different options. And you can ask like a decently longish question, you know. So I just asked, do you guys want to see a full season 1 review of Charmed? Yes or no? And people voted.
And then in your actual content, you told people to like click the poll that pops up right here and vote, right?
Yeah. I specifically was like, I've been thinking about doing this. Let me know what you guys think. Here's a poll here that you can vote in. And I actually saw like probably like 10 times the amount of, you know, answers than I would normally get since I called it out versus just letting people find it if it shows up, you know?
Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much for sharing that. That's a good idea. I don't do a lot of those, but they're always fun when you do them. You're like, yay, interaction with people for someone who makes their living on the internet. That's a big deal. You know?
Absolutely.
Lucia, tell us about your channel.
Hi, so my channel is called Green Olive, and I don't know how to change it on here, but I'll figure it out later. But it is Green Olive, and it specializes in Italian cooking. And I like to connect with the audience by sharing stories about the food that I'm eating and the things I grew up eating and just some of the special dishes that we have. Of course, I think this is all boring because I grew up with it, but anytime I share these stories with people, everyone really loves them and wants more of them. Because I actually teach cooking classes at our local Sacramento food co-op. And that's one of the things every time on my evaluation they ask for is, we want more stories. And so that's kind of what I'm focusing on, is the connection. And one thing I've learned is I'm kind of new to this. I started about a year ago creating the channel. And so we have a handful of videos, not a lot of followers yet, but it was just really hard getting the recipes, recording, doing everything. And so I've actually decided that I need to hire an assistant, which that's Heather right here behind me. And so she's my assistant, and she's helping me do all that, because not only do we have the YouTube channel, I also run with a business partner a $1 million company where we sell home products. And so we use the YouTube as another sales channel to sell our products. So I'm incorporating those products in the video with links to hopefully get people over to purchase those products as well.
Great. So is that your tip for creators too? Because you've had a lot of good stuff in there all at once.
I don't know. I'm still learning. I'm new, which is why you and I connected at the Everything Food Conference. And I'm like, I'm in. I'm going to learn. I'm open to learning, because you never can stop learning.
Yeah,
you want to continue growing.
That's right. Yeah. So one of the things that you said in there is having a business model around your channel is actually really important, because a lot of creators don't have that. A lot of creators are just going to assume they're going to bank on AdSense, or they're just going to do sponsor things, and there's nothing wrong with either of those. Like, AdSense is great. Sponsorships are great. Right. But what you're saying is like, hey, I have this value I want to deliver to people, and I want to use YouTube so I can deliver more of this value to people. And that value can be in the form of like products and things that you sell, as well as in the content that you're creating. So having a YouTube channel that complements a business model is really a smart idea, instead of just kind of growing a channel that you're like, I hope the money comes one day, because That's like what we said in the beginning, like Patrick says, like you need to have a plan. If you don't have a plan, then it's probably unlikely that something's going to accidentally just work out awesomely, So good. Well, thank you for sharing that. Let's see here. Let's go to Malcolm. Malcolm Lawson. Tell us about your channel.
Thanks, Tim. So my channel is called Malcolm Lawson Realtor, and it's all about helping Maryland families make smart real estate decisions. So I do a lot of videos all about Maryland and also about how home sellers and home buyers can make smart decisions in real estate. So I think kind of the biggest takeaway, one of the biggest takeaways for me from this class was how important titles are. And I've heard you say it over and over again in your videos, but it never really sank in until I took this class. And so you say that you want to create an information gap in your title, and you recommend using words that end in EST. So biggest, craziest, weirdest, smallest, using those kind of words in your titles just to kind of compel people to click on them. And so moving forward, my plan is, so I used to create a video, then I try to come up with a title for it. So moving forward, I'm coming up with a title, a really good clickable title first, and then I'm going to figure out how to create a video around that title.
Yeah, doing it that way means that your content, you can open up the content, connecting with the title and thumbnail someone just clicked on. So it's like, otherwise people like their content maybe 8 minutes later deliver on the title and the thumbnail, but by that point you've lost a lot of people, as opposed to knowing what they clicked on and then opening with that. So can you give us an example of what that looks like for you and your channel? Like maybe the recent video that you did, how did that, what did your process look like for how you shot the video and the title and the thumbnail you came up with?
Right. Yeah. So I just did one. I think it was biggest mistakes home buyers make that cost them thousands. So I came up with a good title like that, and that has that information gap in there. And then I went out and I tried to do some research and kind of came up with a list of what the biggest mistakes are that I see home buyers making.
Shoot, I'm moving to a new home on Thursday.
Yeah.
That video should have been here for me a few months ago. So yeah, this is my last live stream here in my office before I move into a new home. So I should have watched that video sooner, but yeah, just coming up with that title and thumbnail before you shoot the video makes a big difference in terms of how you crafted to hook people. So very important. Great. Thank you, Malcolm. Mary's Nest. Tell us about your channel.
Hi, Tim. Hi, everyone. My name is Mary, and my channel is Mary's Nest. And I teach traditional cooking skills for making nutrient-dense foods like bone broth, sourdough, ferments, and more. And I've been teaching this type of cooking for about 20 years now. What I learned, and as Dave said, there are a lot of tips to learn, but something that really resonated with me was how important it is to niche down and be as specific as possible, and then make videos in your niche. And don't go out of that niche, especially I think in the beginning. Because if people find your videos suggested or just searching and they like it and they come to your channel to watch more of your videos, they're going to expect to see videos based on what they found you in search or suggested. And then hopefully they'll watch those videos and maybe subscribe.
Yeah, that's right. So tell us about your audience. When you started Video Labs, what was your audience, and then how have you niched down and made it more specific to what your audience is now on your channel?
Well, I started my channel being very specific to traditional nutrient-dense foods, and then I started branching out. And then when I came to your class and we talked about value propositions here, really was a light bulb moment for me. And when I went back to being very specific and just on traditional foods, which sometimes you think, oh gosh, how many bone broth videos can I make? People will get tired of it. And I'll probably reach about 10,000 subscribers in 10 months.
That's awesome. Good for you. Yeah. Who we're talking about? I think it was Dave. And we're talking about, it's important to remove confusion so that people know who, like, this is for me, and they know who it's for, and they know the value they're going to get. And so making that specific, so if someone feels like, oh, this channel's for me, like this is, is really important. So defining that audience again, as opposed to just making general videos for a general audience and hoping for generic results. You know, well, you don't hope for generic results, but that's what you get. So it's very important. So thank you, Mary's Kitchen or Mary's Nest. Thank you for sharing that. And again, you guys want to check them out? Links down below. And you guys are asking a lot of good questions in the chat, which we'll get to here in a second. We still have a few creators who got some awesome information for you, but we keep asking those questions, and Laura will keep putting them in front of us, and we'll get through a lot of them here in a few minutes. Let's go to Mitch from Social Media Examiner. Tell us about your channel and your tips for creators.
Sure. So my name's Mitch. I work for Social Media Examiner, and we basically help busy marketers navigate social media and all the crazy changes and everything that happens there. I think for a lot of people, social media can be a real time suck, and we want to basically flip that on its head and actually leverage it for your business. Basically, the channel kind of has been just neglected. We've got a lot of other platforms and things that we invest in, but we really saw this opportunity to kind of learn from the best and try to optimize this asset that we have. So kind of along the same lines as what Dave and Mary were saying, that but more catered towards an organization. I think it's really important to really articulate that value proposition and filter kind of everything through that. So for us, we've got, you know, different kinds of videos and content. We've got a live show, talk show, interview style thing. And we also have like a story-based episodic series. And so even though those things are completely different, as long as they are aligned on the same kind of expectation and value proposition that you've set for your audience, then again, like what you say, unifying them on a belief, then it'll perform well. And ours hasn't been that way. So we're really excited to kind of align those things and continue to tweak and revise them to be aligned.
Have you guys started poking around that, like that belief, what that might be, that through line or that thread that ties everything together for the viewer, so that they know what they're signing up for when they want to watch your videos?
Yeah, we've been toying around with a couple different ideas, you know, the whole like making social media work for you as a value prop, but really like kind of we're trying to resonate with that busy, overwhelmed marketer that just hears like, I need to be doing this, I need to be chasing this, I should like this kind of FOMO in social media, and really kind of helping them by bringing the experts and tips and tactics to them. So I don't know if that answered your question, but we're still workshopping it.
I think it's great because that's a great example of, the process, the workshopping you got to go through. Like, you don't just arrive at these things like, boom. I mean, sometimes people do, but I've been doing video labs now for like 5 years now. And I think I've only seen it a few times where like people they just instantly knew, like, boom, it was done. Most of the time it's like, well, let's like what you guys are doing. Let's play, throw out some ideas, maybe throw some stuff on a whiteboard, cross stuff out and write other things and just kind of see where it lands. And then the good thing is you can always change it later in the future going forward. If you're like, oh, this isn't quite exactly what we wanted to say, or it was close, but so that's good. I think hopefully that encourages you guys as creators who are watching to feel like, oh, I don't have all this together instantly. It's like, oh, it's okay. Nobody does. It takes time. And just like Mitch and Social Media Examiner are doing, it takes some time and really work on this. Like, what are we communicating to people about what we're all about and why they should subscribe and what they're going to get if they do? They can take time, and that's all right. So cool. You guys can check out their channel linked up down below as well. Thank you, Mitch. Spouses Buying Houses. Tell us about your channel and what your idea is for creators.
My name is Lee Smith. I'm a real estate investor here in Indianapolis, Indiana. We work with investors, both foreign and domestic, primarily on low-income housing. So my channel is about funny stories of stuff we run into, how to be a successful real estate investor, and what not to do in real estate. It seems like every day I learn a new way to lose money. So learn from what I learn from every day, and you'll be in a better shape. The main thing that I learned was that YouTube is not like any other SEO that you may have done. I'm ex-Microsoft. I did 20 years as a Microsoft engineer. And the SEO that you do on Google does not run the same as YouTube. It's a different clientele. It's a different media. To be successful, you need to do things differently than with other internet strategies. Keywords are not God, little g. It's a lot more about content and hooking the viewers, watching lots of other successful channels to get ideas, and most importantly, getting your community together. It's a lot of work, but it can be a lot of fun.
What would you say would be like one really good way for a creator to optimize for discoverability on YouTube? What, like, one important thing that they should probably focus on?
I mean, your thumbnails and your tags, a lot of that sort of stuff, your titles, I mean, and it's community involvement, working with your community and trying to get people interested, stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And paying attention to those audience retention graphs can be really helpful in terms of how do you hold someone's attention and how can you do that better and get more watch time on your videos. That makes a big difference as well. Because it's not just about the click. It's a big part, but it's the click. And then you got to actually hold their attention and deliver value to them. So
when I started out, it was like 30% retention on my videos. And now a lot of my videos are doing like 50% retention. So, I mean, it's about getting the viewers hooked and then keeping them, there's a lot to it. I mean, it's a lot more than what a lot of people think about.
Yeah. Cool. That's great. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Let's go to Pierre. Tell us about your channel and what you're doing on YouTube. Is he here? Okay. Let's go to Stephanie. Tell us about your channel, what you're doing on YouTube.
Cool. Yeah. So I'm Steph. I run a lifestyle channel just kind of about living with chronic health issues and holistic wellness and kind of the journey to wellness and healing and all that good stuff. As far as my biggest tip or takeaway that I would give to a fellow creator, a couple of people have touched on it already, but I think it's just because it is so important, and that's really specifically narrowing down your why. And I think a lot of creators think that they have this down already because, we've read Start With Why, maybe we've jotted down like some mission and vision stuff. But I remember when Tim asked this question in the class and he was like, why should people care about the videos or the content that you are making? And it was just this light bulb moment of like, oh, I don't know why they should care. There are plenty of other people in the health and wellness niche or industry. Why do my videos matter? Like, what value does it offer? Why is it different? And so I knew I had always kind of wanted to help people and like help them heal. And that was the ultimate goal that I had with my videos. But I think just thinking about it this way, like, what do I bring to the table? Why does my content matter? It really changed the way that I made videos and the whole channel experience, really. And I think that what that really is going to do for you as a creator is create clarity on your channel as a whole and then within your videos, and then get you through the hard times when you feel like you want to quit, because we all kind of hit that point. So that's my biggest takeaway, is really finding your why.
What did that process look like for you? When you hear that, you're like, oh shoot, I don't know why. What would you recommend how a creator goes through that?
Yeah. So you, Tim, kind of gave us this formula of our value proposition. So what am I doing? Which a lot of creators know that already, like I make gaming videos or I make beauty videos. And then, like, why do you do that? And, Tim kind of pushed us, like, if it was like, like I make videos about how to live a healthy lifestyle, like, why does that matter? So, people can do the things they love to do again, experience life change, get to live long enough to see their grandkids. Like, that's why it matters. And I think we just don't go deep enough. And it's definitely not like a one day or overnight thing. Like, all of us in the class really wrestled with that. And I think that's something we keep evaluating like as long as we are creating.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. So important, because I think even for me, I know like knowing why I do this is what actually motivates me to keep doing it. Even when it's hard, even when you want to quit, even when things aren't working, even when things are a struggle, it's like, no, I can't stop, because I believe that we can reach people and we can change their lives. And this is like actually really important, and I have to keep going, right? Or else there'll be people whose lives aren't changed. So having that why can be really good for driving that too. So thank you, Stephanie. Appreciate it. Pierre, did you get your microphone thing worked out? Is it working for you now? Cool.
Hi.
Tell us about tell us about your channel and what you're doing on YouTube, Pierre.
Hi everyone, I'm Pierre. I'm French, if you can hear it. I have a YouTube channel called How to Change the World in 2 Hours. Basically, it's to show like 1,000 ways that you can make a positive impact in the world, be it from minimalism, finding a meaningful job, civil disobedience, activism, etc., etc. So yeah, it's basically simplifying small steps to have a positive social or environmental impact in this 2019 world.
Great, cool. What's your tip? What advice do you have for creators?
Besides the VP, which I still struggle on, I think what helped me the most concretely right now, it's to have one single call to action in the end. You do that pretty well in your video, and having that call to action not being a call to subscriber, which I try to do like in the middle or random times during the video, but highlighting a clear click on this video and explaining to the people why it could give them value, why what's the teaser about it, what's the plot, what value are they going to find in it, and not just saying, oh, click here, but without explaining. So make a short outro and explain why they should watch another video. So think ahead of another video that's really closely related to the one you're filming right now. And yeah, that at least double my click-through rate in my latest video. So it increases your watch time, obviously.
That's
so
great.
That was a great tip.
Yeah. So thinking about the video, not just as like a one video, but as a part of a longer viewing session that people could spend with you. And so how does this video I'm making right now get them into another video that I want them to watch next? And that's, yeah,
exactly.
Great. Good for you, man. Double. That's great. Love it. Love hearing that stuff. So awesome.
Thanks to you.
Sid and Mackie. Hello. Tell us about what you guys are doing on YouTube.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sid.
And I'm Mackie, and we are a couple of professional mountain bike racers who travel the world and the US, living in a van and racing our mountain bikes.
And our channel is about trying to inspire people or mountain bikers specifically, to try racing their bike and to make that a little bit more accessible.
I would say our one most useful, or maybe not most useful, but one of the many useful tips that we've been focusing on is not using ending language. I think Anand mentioned this as well, but people leave when they know the video's over. So if you can give them a reason to stay to the end of the video, like, don't make sure not to miss the crazy jump we do at the end of the video or whatever, then that gets them there. But then once you do whatever it is, you don't want them to immediately leave. So basically immediately after the exciting thing happens, then tell them, now go check out this next video, instead of well, that was pretty fun. Thanks for watching. It was good to see you guys. Because then they're just like, oh, video's done. We're gone. So make it succinct and get people onto the next video.
How do you guys decide which video you want them to watch next?
That's actually something we've been struggling with a little bit, but I think we have started recently sending people to an older video or another creator's video, because we realized that when we were sending to like our most recent video, that people had already seen that. So they were like, oh, I'm all caught up, like I'll just go away. So that's been slightly better.
Yeah. And do other creators like reach out and be like, hey, thank you so much, or anything like that? Have you guys had that yet?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's mountain biking YouTube is a pretty small niche, so we usually know the people, so we usually let them know beforehand so that they can then share the video.
That's awesome. Have you found that they've reciprocated then and done that in their videos for you guys?
I would say in general, no, but I suspect that has more to do with them not knowing the tip of like
session time.
Yeah, session time being important. So
we have definitely gotten like invites to do collaborations with other people like through that kind of thing. But yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, good. Yeah, it's a great tip. Like thinking about, like we just talked about, thinking about the whole session and getting people into the next video as opposed to just being like, see ya, have a good day, talk to you, maybe never, you know? So that's great. Cool. Thanks, guys. Let's see here. Sandra, tell us about your channel.
Hi there, my name is Sandra. My channel is in Spanish and it's about cooking. It's about easy recipes, new flavors to share with the whole family. And I say new flavors because you will find international cuisine. It could be French, Italian, Mexican, Indian. And I noticed I have learned so many things from these classes, but one of the main one for me has been my target audience. Because with that, I'm saying, okay, here you will find this. You want to travel the world through meals? Here we can do it. If you are looking for maybe just frozen food or fast food, you don't will find it here too much. And it has been so nice because I received several comments kind of too often saying, thank you so much. We went to India last night thanks to you. And my family is enjoying traveling through your meals. And to me, it's also a way to learn about different countries, because what better way to do it than through food.
That's right. Yeah. So was that your tip for creators too, or you have another tip for them?
For me also has been super helpful. The book.
Yeah.
You don't make a big speech which is what I was doing at the beginning, and it was really bad, maybe like 40-50% right away at the beginning of my videos. And now, since these classes, I noticed that I'm having like a 60% audience retention.
Good.
And at the beginning, they're dropping, I don't know, maybe like 10-20%. I mean, so many things, but to me, that one, target audience, the hook.
Yeah, having a hook for a target audience makes a really big deal. So that when someone in that target audience starts watching, they actually keep watching, you know, because they feel like, oh, this is for me. I want to stick around. So that's great. Thank you, Sandra. Let's go to Dr. Dad, also known as Train Lab, also known as Scott in our group.
Hey guys. Oh, hey Tim, I have to do the Tim Schmoyer look here.
There you go. Got to put that hat on. That's right. Yeah.
So we're a high energy train themed channel to help kids learn critical thinking and problem solving skills. And we started about a year and a half ago, and we were pounding a bunch of nails in wood trying to create a channel, but we actually stumbled into creating these track adapters for kids. And they do these, that's how they kind of put these tracks together. And we ended up selling about 30,000 of them over the Christmas holiday season. So we had to stop our train channel. So we started doing this, the Video Creators Lab, because we actually wanted to know what house we were building and how to do that. So our tip is that thumbnails are like the critical thing, because why would you spend hours and hours and hours making this video when you got a crappy thumbnail and nobody's going to watch it? So we've been obsessing over our thumbnails, and a couple things that we found that works is keep it simple. For kids channel, we keep it bright and themes consistent. And here's my oldest guy, this is Eric. And we do no minimal or no type on it, because we just use the balance between the thumbnail and the title to kind of create the story. And especially for kids that our audience don't actually read yet, so there's no reason for us to actually put any titles on there. And then don't use it as clickbait, because it has to actually be a part of what you're trying to say in your video. But use the concept of what clickbait does to drive your audience with it.
Okay. So what tips would you have for crafting a good engaging thumbnail?
Do your thumbnails first. Do your thumbnail and your titles first before you even shoot the video, because what that would do is nail your story really precisely, so that like if you look at Stephen Scher from, Stephen Scher, all of his thumbnails and his titles drive his story first, and that's super stuff. So we've just been learning and watching a bunch of other people. Like we just binged all of Justin Evans' videos the other day, and that that guy's got it dialed in, and he's awesome.
He is the thumbnail master. Yes. Cool. Well, thank you, Scott. And last we have Christine from Zested Foods. Tell us about your channel, Christine.
Hey everyone, my name is Christine and my channel is called Zested Foods, and it's all about strengthening your family one meal at a time. I teach tips and new recipes and how to set you up to be successful in the kitchen so that you can strengthen your family through food. And I've learned a lot through this course over the last 8 weeks, and a lot to still work on. But my biggest thing is that creating great content, and you do this with a great hook through storytelling and then keeping your audience engaged all the way to the end of your video so that they will click through to the next video so you get that continual watch time. And also the biggest thing I've learned too is don't give up. Keep pushing yourself and keep trying new things, and don't be afraid to change things up and learning from your analytics.
What are some things that you're changing up on your channel based on what you've been learning?
Well, first I made my hook shorter and to the point so that it wouldn't go away. I implemented storytelling, making it the why do they want to watch it, making it important for you. So adding that storytelling. And then what I've learned in this channel too is getting them to click through to the next video, but also to the next playlist. So I've learned, hey, click on this playlist, because if you like this video, you'll also maybe like these other videos over here. So I've implemented a shorter hook, to the point, better storytelling, and getting them to another playlist. So that's what
great.
I've been working on.
Yeah, and none of those are small things.
Oh, no.
Like a lot of those. That's the thing about this. There's so many moving
That's
parts.
why I threw in there, don't give up, because you have to take one thing at a time and watch your analytics and just go from there.
Yeah, great. Well, you guys in the chat have left a lot of good questions for us. So we only have a few minutes left here, but we're going to try to answer as many of these as we can. So first question for you guys here, those of you who are Video Labs graduates now, Josephine Desmet asks, what needs to be in your plan? And I think that goes back to what Patrick was talking about in the beginning about needing a plan. But if someone wants to put together a plan for growing their channel, what things what does that need to include? Where do they start?
Take a video creators lab workshop.
Okay, you can start by getting our plan. Yep. What else?
I think another tip would be to start with why.
Why you're making videos,
and why, who is it for, and why.
Yeah, I'd start with your value proposition of your channel. I mean, that's going to dictate the direction that your channel is going to go in and dictate what kind of content you're going to create for it.
Yeah, along those same lines, Joey Defy asks, what makes a brilliant content strategy compared to an okay one? What are some of those things that kind of like gets your strategy from like level 1 to level 10?
I think it's important. Like, you're not going to come up with this master plan and then execute it perfectly. It's the constant revision and analysis, like a lot of what we did, and this will lead into retention questions, but analyzing your retention graph. Where are people dropping off? What particular thumbnails or titles are intriguing to people? So constantly not just trying to think of it in the sense of like, okay, I need to create a master plan and then execute it, but think of it like a living document that you need to be constantly analyzing and revising.
Yeah, something that you iterate rather than like arrive at 100% right up front. Yeah.
That you have to pay attention to so many things, like the thumbnails, the titles, your hooks. I mean, because it's what I did at the beginning. I didn't have an idea. It was just, let me put some videos and that's it. And it's way too much, all what we learned through Video Labs. So it's to pay attention to a lot of little things.
Right. Yeah. There's a lot of little things you gotta pay attention to. We talked a lot here, you guys, about like intros and outros to videos. Dr. Jasmine one asks, what's the most common mistakes YouTubers make when doing an intro or an outro?
I can.
Some of them.
Oh, sorry.
You go ahead. You go ahead.
Yeah, I can personally speak to this. I think not getting straight to the point and rambling are probably one of the most common mistakes, at least for me. But I've also seen that, you know, in studying other videos as well. And then outro, just like some people had mentioned, using that ending language, like, hope you enjoyed, subscribe, da, 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 da. Like it just, people just tune out and click out. So I think those are two mistakes, at least, that I see that I was making, that when I stopped, I noticed an improvement in my watch time.
Were you guys add something else to that, Kristen?
Nope, that was exactly what I was going to say. I think,
Good.
you know, the more you can be to the point and not worry about like, oh, I just want to make my video longer, the more you can just like be succinct and, you know, show people your content and then get people to the next thing. That's what you got to do.
Well, and I can speak from experience because when I first started, I used to have these really long intros and it was really slow. And then my outros were so long. And then after taking some of Tim's advice, I cut things really simple, cut my video time in half, and my audience retention doubled. So I really agree with that too.
Great.
To echo Mitch's point from before, you should also keep improving your intro and outro in every video you do. So look at your analytics and that'll tell you where you're going right and what you need to improve on also.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing I wanted to add really quick for the intro is I know a lot of people are like, have intro graphics in there, you know, that, you know, it's kind of like the hook, the intro graphic, and then they get into their content. And I think what we've talked about in the course is, you know, if you're going to do an intro graphic, 3 to 4 seconds, anything longer than that, and people will click away right away. So again, like the quicker you can get into your content, the better.
One thing I want to add is this is not just for the intro, but talk to one person in the video instead of saying, hey guys, hey everyone, ladies and gentlemen, and you know, speak to one person. I think that's way more engaging.
Yeah, great. I'm going to throw you guys a doozy. You ready? You ready for this one? Eric's Garage AZ asks, I'm getting conflicting information on where is the best source to identify SEO words, phrases, etc. Please advise. So we spent a few weeks in Video Labs talking about discoverability. And of course, we talked about keywords and tags and that kind of stuff. So he wants to know the best source.
I think a lot of it's going to be, it's not as SEO. SEO, you know, your keywords are not God, little g. It is more about, that might get you that initial little bump, but I think that what it's going to end up doing is it's going to be all about your retention. It's going to be, you know, YouTube is smart enough that they're figuring out why people are coming to your videos and they're going to stay with your videos, or, you know, they're going to recommend your video. So you could have in there that, you know, I like fluffy bunnies. And if you don't like fluffy bunnies in your video, YouTube's going to figure it out real fast and you're not going to get those hits. So you're going to have to, you know, it's more about your content than it is about the SEO.
Oh, wait. So you said it's more about the content than the SEO. Explain, someone else here, explain what that means. Everyone's smiling. I love it. Now you guys are having fun.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Tim, I think that the biggest surprise for me going through the course was a video I did about 6 years ago. I worked with a guy who taught us video SEO. And if you go to my video, it's called How to Install an Asphalt Driveway. I mean, it's everything I learned, all the tags, the description, all the links and everything. And at the time, it probably helped me tremendously. But today, based upon what we've learned, I don't have to do that anymore. And I'm so excited.
So what do you do instead?
Make great content. It has nothing to really do with the tags.
Yeah, you can spend a lot of time on keywords. And we're not downplaying that, saying you guys should just throw that out the window. But what we talked about is using that more to generate ideas for content rather than it being like, if I got like the reason my videos aren't performing is I'm not cramming the right keyword in all the right spots. So I need to have in my title twice, in my description 15 times. I need to like do it 13 times in my captions file, and then make sure some of my like Google's like, you can do that all you want, but that doesn't mean people actually like your video, right? But the reverse could be true, where you might not have all the keywords in the right spots, but people might actually like your video, and that one's going to win all day long, because Google will figure that out. And that's what we were focusing on, is making content people want to watch.
Justin Evans also had a really great idea about getting your commenters to actually put the tag of what you're talking about in the description comments. And I know that Steven Shearer does that, because he asks his audience to say, hey, tag below in the comments. And that seems to have some pretty decent upswing in telling Google or YouTube that that's what your thing's about.
It could be, yeah. I don't think Google's looking at the comments for that very reason, because it's kind of something people could game. But even videos with no comments at all can still do really well. People, like a lot of kid channels have comments disabled right now, and so they can't even comment, and Google still figures out what they're about. So
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Mary.
I was just going to say something that I thought was very important is when it comes to all this SEO, just remember to speak to the human being. To have a title that speaks to a person. And if that title interests them, they'll watch your video. And if it's good content, hopefully they'll watch more. But that's something I really learned in this class, to speak to the human being.
That's right. We optimize for people, not for robots, and you'll do much better.
Have a thumbnail that complement your title.
Yep, it's important. Great. You guys want to check them out. Links to all their channels are down below in the show notes if you're listening to the audio this later, or in the description of this live stream. Check out their channels, follow along with their journey as they graduate now from Video Labs and go forward. I want you guys to see the strategy that they're going to be implementing and how they're going to be growing going forward. So subscribe, check them out. And if you are interested in joining a future session of Video Labs, there's also a link down there that will give you more information about that. The next session is actually starting today, and it is already sold out. And so that registration for that one's closed, but we will be doing it again in the fall. And so if you want to be the first to get notified when we open up registration for the next session of Video Labs, you can click that link and go put yourself on the waiting list, and then you will get first dibs to sign up before the 27 spots are full, and they always sell out. So if you're serious about this, I recommend you get on that waiting list so you get notified first, and you get to hang out with the next group of awesome creators who learn how to go through this Video Labs process, learn how to grow their channel, learn how to reach more people, change their lives, and really get the results that they want on YouTube. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens to you guys here as you graduate. I feel like, I was at my daughter's kindergarten graduation yesterday, and, so I feel like I need some big speech or something, but you guys gave the speech yourself here and did a great job. So thank you, all of you guys, for serving my audience and creators the way you guys have. And we're looking forward to the rest of you guys who are listening or watching this. We'd love to work with you guys in the next ones coming up here in the next few months. So click the link to find out more and subscribe to their channels, and we will see you guys again next week for another live stream and Video Creators Podcast. We'll see you guys then. Bye.
Luck.